Hello, hello. Welcome to TMI Tuesday. I am your honk Tonk7, along with my co-host, Culler Commentary. Thank you for joining us on this March 1st edition. First of the month, like Bone Thugs. And just wanted to say, remember to like, follow, share. We got shows on all throughout the week, Tuesdays, Thursdays. Tuesdays, of course, is my show, TMI Tuesdays. And then we got Mike on the mic, usually after my show. And then he also does it on Saturdays, 10 p.m., which is like a discussion forum type show. And then Culler Commentary, late night. I think he starts at 10 p.m. also. And then we got El Capitan on Fridays and Saturdays. And then if football's on Sunday or something going on, he'll be on there on Sunday, calling games, talking about stats. We'll probably get cash and tickets back in here a little bit later, maybe when baseball rolls around. So we're trying to have a nice full schedule for everybody. What's up, Culler?
Not much, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Ready to get rocking here.
Right on. What you got first for us?
So just a lot of things going on in the world, and now it's, of course, affecting sports. So the soccer coach in Ukraine, his name is, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it here, Ole Luz. I can't pronounce that last name. I tried. I saw this article, and I'll pull it up over here so I could read from it. But I just thought it was really interesting, when war starts to happen and you just see like all these courageous acts that people bring themselves to quit, put his career on hold to fight for his country. And I mean, a lot of people should do that, but it's just interesting when you hear about it. And what, like, the president of Ukraine is doing, and then of course the head coach of soccer team there is staying on the front lines to help protect his country. And I just thought it was interesting and just wanted to bring some attention to it. Because everything that's going on over there. And I wore this hat tonight, prisoner of war, missing in action. And I just like to, it's like it's good to hear these heroic stories. It can kind of maybe bring some awareness to war, to what people do. Like when Elvis Presley joined the military. What do you think about it, Culler?
Well, I mean, they're a small country, so people tend to forget a lot of the times in these small countries they don't have an army. Who else is going to do it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're capable and you understand, the risk that you're taking, but it's just I just wanted to bring some attention to that.
Yeah, imagine being in those shoes, having to decide that, like we all do our thing. Even when we go to war, we're all comfortable over here and we don't really do anything unless you got, family members that are soldiers or whatnot. But these people have to make that decision. We're all, we all watching movies, for them, it's playing out in real life over there.
Yeah. And I mean, like, just, definitely, just like, just to put yourself in that situation, to just put everything on hold and go fight for your country.
Yeah, we had a lot of people over here that were athletes that, in professional sports that put their careers on hold too.
Yeah. There's football players, and I know of UFC players that were in the military.
Well, I mean, even back in like World War II and all that, there's people just went and did it and came back and then made a bunch of movies or played sports.
Yeah, it's I mean, we'll see how this all unfolds over there. And how it's affecting, sports all around the world. It's affecting politics all around the world. And airlines, it's just crazy. Like this is the beginning of the year. It's always at the beginning of the year we got something going on. It's never
That's when the weather's the best.
It's never closing out the year. It's always right at the beginning of the year. We gotta
that's when the weather's the best.
Maybe in Florida.
Well, let's not forget, Tonk, that the month of March itself and who it was named after.
Who's that?
The March is named after the god of war, Mars, from
oh, hold on a second.
From Rome.
Cain is having live feeds. So I feel bad for his family. Wow, lucky you. Yeah, I mean, that's just trying to bring awareness, and just trying to let people know that people are sacrificing over there. But so the god of war, that's
in the Roman pantheon, it was Mars. So they would all march out to the Martian fields and battle. That was the month they all did it because the weather was great. Keep in mind on it, there was less months, so a lot of times March would fall in the cooler part of the year for them. So that's when they would do a lot of their they wouldn't do their battles in the heat of the summer or the bitter cold of the winter. And they'd be trying to wind them down in the fall. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting.
What an interesting way to deal with war. Oh, the temperature's great. Let's go to war.
Yeah, pretty much. And you could bet on it as the other guy that nobody's coming. You could get a good night's sleep because it's cold outside.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't have, electronics back then to make.
Yeah, no way to predict it either. So it's like, hey.
Well, I mean, they would just cut a goat open and see like some yellow vein, and that's how they were predicting. Like, they'd look at the gizzard and see if
you're not lying.
I know.
That's what the whole priesthood was for in Rome.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of Rome, it's like, damn, they had a lot to do with the calendar because July and August were from Julius and Augustus Caesar.
Correct.
That's why those are the 2 months that have 31 days. Hey, Italy had a lot to do with our calendar. That's crazy. I guess, but
then the Vikings stormed in and screwed up all the days of the week to the Viking names.
No, like Thor's Day.
Yeah, and Freya's
and
Day. And,
Wednesday.
yeah, Tears Day.
Oh man, the impact and I mean, it's crazy that it's like that's what we use now. Like who invented time? Someone thought of that one day and said, you know what? This is called time.
Yeah, some of the first languages ever created by humans were based on concepts of counting and time.
Yeah, well, math and science, dude. I mean, math and science is going to explain the entire universe. Like everything can be mathematically, scientifically proportioned.
And then now look where you are. Look where we are with the internet, purchasing power, all that stuff. I mean, the fact that you guys can go to a place like fanatics.com to buy all your merchandise, because they got they're the ultimate fan gear store. They got jerseys, t-shirts, hats, collectibles, and merchandise for fans of NFL, NCAA, MLB, NBA, NHL, NASCAR, soccer, golf, and Tua jerseys. And since you didn't act as quick as I did last night,
out right now.
Yeah, and since you didn't act as quick as I did last night, you're not going to be able to get this awesome jersey, this awesome t-shirt that I just picked up for myself. It's on the way. You can get things
From
like Fanatics? That at fanatics.com.
They got some dope ass hats on there.
Yeah, so make sure do like I did and use the link in the description below so Fanatics knows that the Finns Tailgate sent you, and Tonk can go on his merry way with the show here.
Yeah.
After the shameless plug.
So yeah, and I mean, wait till you see what we got for gear.
Yeah, throw it onto that too. Forget, like we did the Fanatics spot. Go ahead to let us know what's going up with the Finns Tailgate.
Thanks, Jerry, man. I mean, we're trying to make this, podcast well-rounded, bring some different topics and stuff into here. So thanks for commenting, guys. Thanks for watching. Lucky you, Estefan. Oh, look at that hat, dude. Oh man, I'm already putting a down payment, man. I already put a down payment on that hat. And that sweater. Look at them sandals. And I definitely could use one of those out here. That shit's hard, man. Look at that.
I'm getting the beige one. I'm definitely getting the beige one.
The beige beanie?
Yeah.
Old BB over here. Yeah, yeah, I definitely want to get the hat first.
I mean, I'm going to get the black one too, just because it's tight.
It matches like 90% of my clothes. Lucky you.
Damn!
And I noticed with the ones with the flag on it, that's so great. It's like the flag with an aqua coral streak down the middle, down its back.
That's very Floridian. So
that streak don't go away no matter what happens to the flag, man.
Oh, that was the model, whatever picture of that model it was. All right, so what's the second topic? So, okay, yeah. So I saw this other article of Russian athletes getting kicked out of sports. So I know Ovechkin, what's his name? They were trying to get him to speak out against Russia. Let's see, it's right here. Alex Ovechkin. He's being kind of put on the spotlight because he's Russian to suspend. So Dominic Hasek is calling for Alex Ovechkin and all these other Russian players to be suspended, and that's on top of there is another suspension happening, knocking Putin's team off the sports stage. So I think this was so they're trying to take over or take it off credibility to the I think 2014 Olympics.
So this is this for doping reasons or
no? It's just because they're at war.
Oh.
What was the actual name of those Olympics? They named it after the city that they played it in. But it's just crazy how it's impacting sports so much, because especially cold weather sports, there's a lot of Russians in cold weather sports. because it's pretty much a tundra out there. But it's like I don't know. Like, how do you feel about like Russian uh, citizens, and having to deal with this as being like in other countries playing sports, being in that country playing sports. Like, I don't know, what would you do in that scenario?
If he dies, he dies.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of harsh because it's not as if these people can make the decisions for their government,
Yeah, I know, because it's like it's not really Russia, it's Putin that's going to war. I mean, the military just has to deal with it.
We don't kick out Chinese athletes because their government is, enslaving people and doing whatever else they do. You know what I mean?
What up, Dubatron? Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean,
it's this idea. It's this idea that I guess it's probably more of a modern, phenomena. But it's this idea that we can't, like, we should have gone back and held all the German citizens responsible, because you know what I mean? Like, even the ones that didn't know it was going on. It's this idea that you have to hold everybody responsible for a systemic failure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if I buy into it because it's, I mean, again, we don't ban Chinese athletes because of the things their country does. You know what I mean? And
well, they're like basically asking Alex Ovechkin to like, disown the country, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but I also don't see a problem with him, just staying silent.
Yeah, or at least, or them saying, "Hey, just say war is bad." Okay, we can all agree war is bad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's especially with social media and just the we're the world of knowledge nowadays, and it's putting pressure on people that they don't want to be part of this, and just I mean, it's kind of like when we first started dealing with COVID, and the Asian hate that came from that. Like, it's not Asian, it wasn't Asian people, it was something else that caused this happen. Not citizens, I mean, maybe it was the government or something, but we can't be blaming these Russian people for what is going on over there. I mean, I think they should have a little bit of attention on them. Because I mean, who knows? Like, Russia's been known to have spies before, but I don't know.
I mean, if a Russian athlete was coming out in the public stage and saying things like, "Oh, I should quit my competition to go fight for my country," that'd be different. You know what I mean? Like, go on then. See you later. Matter of fact, you can't compete here anymore. How do you like me now? But that's not really what's going on. You know what I mean? These are normal people. These are people like you and me. We've never been kicked out of competitions worldwide for the things our country does.
No.
And we could argue about whether those are good or bad things for Americans from an American perspective. But, it's likewise, he could say, I'm Russian. From a Russian perspective, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here, flaunting, my country, killing people. So leave me alone. Let me compete. I don't know. It's kind of rough.
Yeah, it's
but war is hell. That's part of why war is hell. And these are the Olympics we're talking about. Well, in some cases, and or at least worldwide competitions that are meant to bring countries together that would normally be fighting with guns. I mean, that was the whole point of the Olympics. You know what I mean?
Able to do it during the Cold War, like that was what we talked about the last episode. It was the anniversary of the day when I think it was an American team versus the Russian team. I mean, I don't know, but it's just, I don't know, it's just different.
Yeah, we didn't kick the commies out of the Olympics. We just beat them. We just showed them that our way was better by beating them. Yeah, that's what the point of the Olympics is. Our system is better. It produces better athletes. So why would you want to fight us? Because if we produce better athletes and our system does that better, why would you want to test our military? That is the point of the Olympics.
Munich incident. Munich, like in Germany?
Well, in 77 or 72, was it? They were in Germany. And somebody had kidnapped the Israeli soccer team. I want to say it was the soccer team, and held them hostage for a little while.
I don't know. It's not going to make a difference if we're punishing people that don't have anything to do with it.
But if you're talking Berlin, I mean, Hitler was in back gassing people while the German athletes were competing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. It's a very
we look back on it and say, we can't take away responsibility of the German people, even the ones that didn't know. I get the concept behind that. But at the time, like, you're going to go tell a German athlete, hey, you can't run in this race because daddy is back gassing people. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been that wouldn't have computed to them,
Well, I mean, it's very similar. This is very similar to, the things that were going on against Asian people when COVID first happened.
I didn't being where I'm at, I didn't personally witness a lot of that.
I didn't either, but it was just on the news a lot. Like the one that there was
kind of like
a nail salon. It was like a nail salon. A dude went in there and killed a whole bunch of Asian people.
Well, yeah. I mean, that kind of thing is going to happen. I think that's the type of person.
There's
that's the type of person that just wanted to kill Asian people and just found the first reason to. You know what I mean?
There's a big presence of Russians in Portland, Oregon.
Really?
Yeah. Big presence of Russians in Portland, Oregon. I know.
I wouldn't have guessed that, bro.
A friend of mine. Like with Russian kind of descent, like other countries, but they speak Russian, so it's kind of.
It also happens to be commie land. What a coincidence!
Yeah. Oh, Portland. All right. So all right. We just had a couple very difficult topics. Let's lighten it up.
I'm trying to. That was partly the commie.
No, I mean I'm the one who picked these topics.
War is hell, man. War is hell. It's hard to make it heaven.
But I just like to bring some light to what's going on instead of just typing and making posts. I want to have conversations about this stuff.
Sure.
Thank you, Ariel. Like you, Dubatron. Thanks for your comments, man. Thank you, everybody. So I actually chose 2 cause for cleats today because I don't know if I already said one of them, because I think I noticed that some athletes, they go for the same kind of cause.
Or same category, but maybe a different organization,
right. And I was like, I feel like I've done that one, but I'm just gonna say 2 anyway. So my first one is Algerius Sneed of the Chiefs. He does a youth mentorship with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And I like that because I like anything that has to do with helping youth. And a lot of times it's kids that are in difficult situations, foster care, or no mom or dad around. And it's so important to be a mentor and someone that these kids can look up to and be mentored by and kind of help shape them, especially at a young age. Like young brains are being shaped, and I mentor some kids myself, and I always just try to let them talk and try to understand their situation before I ever give any guidance or advice or stuff like that. I try to put myself in their shoes, and it helps. And I know how much it does help, and I know people that had been in Big Brother Big Sister and how much it helped them. So I just really love hearing when people, very successful people, get involved with that, because it makes a huge direct impact. What about you, Culler? What you got?
So today I went off the Dolphins and over to the Los Angeles Rams for a guy with a pretty cool name, Jake Funk.
Sweet.
I don't know what position he plays. They don't list that on the page. Mm-hmm. But his category is also in youth health, wellness, disease, and awareness. and his cause is for the Jordan Mcnair Foundation and uplifting athletes. So I had a little peek at the Jordan Mcnair Foundation. Apparently, there was a kid named Jordan Mcnair that lost his life. He was an up and coming offensive lineman. So I'll just kind of read a little bit of it. Sure. Jordan was a highly recruited offensive lineman for the McDonough School, a 4-star prospect with offers from football powerhouses such as Penn State, Auburn, and U of Michigan. Jordan chose to attend the University of Maryland to remain close to home and the support system that he had journeyed with for the last 18 years. On May 29th, 2018. Wow, that's my niece's birthday. But anyway, May 29th, 2018, following an organized team workout, Jordan was airlifted to R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center at the University of Maryland in Baltimore. A specialized team of doctors work around the clock to save Jordan's life. It was a tireless journey that lasted 2 weeks, but ultimately ended with his body leaving this earth, his spirit remaining here forever. On June 13th, Jordan passed away surrounded by the people he loved. Jordan's death was a shock to his family. But his death, the world learned about the humble young man. So basically, he died from heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. I thought they said it earlier in the paragraph, but I guess not.
What was the cause you mentioned, though?
So the foundation is the Jordan Mcnair Foundation. And so what they do is the mission is to promote awareness, educate, and advocate for parents and student athletes about heat-related illness at the youth, high school, and college levels, and seek to diminish the occurrence of heat-related illnesses, improve player safety. And so they do it by prevention, educating students on the signs, symptoms, and all that. And then support for athletes that do suffer heat-related illnesses. The effects can be life-altering. And then also mobilizing resources to partner with stakeholders and medical community to provide education, literature, and all that. And then scholarship funding to promote awareness on heat-related issues, heat-related illnesses. So basically, his parents kind of started up the cause because of their loss of their son.
Rest in peace to your friend Kadeem.
Wow, that's interesting, Kadeem.
To Jordan, and
condolences.
Yeah, and people that. Yeah, I mean, I used to do construction in Florida, working out in the sun, doing anything that has to do with building a house, like clearing land, doing stone, brick, roofing, painting, framing, digging, compacting, anything that has to do. And man, when you're out there in that heat, you got to really take care of yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of theme based too. It's something I've been harping on for a past couple of months about how important the heat is to our strategy as the Miami Dolphins, and how we could use it to our advantage. But
we don't
in
want
all
people
seriousness,
dying,
in all seriousness, there's a reason it's an advantage. And sometimes without the proper education, people can really struggle and even lose their life to it.
Yeah. And it's like that, kind of like on Mount Rainier. If you go up there in the wintertime and you're walking around in the snow, you don't really realize how thirsty you actually are because you're not sweating. It's not hot.
That's the same in the drier climates like Arizona. It'd be 110 degrees and you're not sweating. You actually are sweating, but your sweat is evaporating before you even notice it.
I noticed that immediately because I had altitude sickness after the first time I went to Mount Rainier. And after that, every time I went up on a mountain, I brought oxygen and I brought a lot of water with me. And I never had that happen again. So it's really just awareness. Just making sure you just stop and drink. A lot of people do that, but just like, even if you got to set a timer, put a timer on and make sure that every time you hear that, you go get something to drink, even if you're not thirsty, because water is very abundant. So it's got to take care of yourself out there.
Yep.
And then I set another one for Josh Rosen of the Atlanta Hawks for environmental conservation with the Sierra Club.
Wait. Now they're gonna strip your football card from you if you don't correct yourself, man.
Josh Rosen.
From the where? From what team?
Atlanta. Oh, I meant Falcons.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
sorry.
They're both birds. We'll give you that one.
Yeah,
Man.
and they're both in Atlanta. Like I wasn't wrong. That was an Atlanta team. My bad. That was a goon right there, dude.
And also, I know the Hawks are probably better in their league than the Falcons are, so I could understand that too.
Yeah, we'll have to start. We'll start with some basketball stuff here soon. Maybe when March Madness starts to roll around, we could do some picks. Maybe the next couple episodes we do some picks, stuff like that. But yeah, Josh Rosen with the Sierra Club, and I've actually done work with the Sierra Club myself, like beach cleanup and just organizational stuff.
Clean. It's cold. And that's what I call high quality H2O.
It's like when I started, instead of just taking a whole bunch of water with me up to a mountain, I bring one of those life straws so I could just drink on my way from like the little rivers. Because like in the summertime, a lot of the snow was like dripping and running off. So there's little rivers everywhere. So I just take a sip of water as I go. It was pretty nice party. H2O.
And you don't get any like Giardia from that or anything?
No, I said I bought a life straw.
Oh, I got you.
It's like a straw. It's like a big filter.
Okay. Right. I got you.
And you stick it
it's
right
not
into
like
the
a pump.
water.
It's like a straw in real time that filters it. Right. Oh, that's interesting. Is it like filled with charcoal and iodine or something?
It's got a whole bunch of stuff in there. And they're really cheap. I mean, you can get them for like a couple of them for like $10.
Wow, that would have helped out a lot in the Grand Canyon.
I would bring like 2 gallons. Dude, imagine carrying like 2 gallons of water because like I overdo it. I'm so extra with everything. So I'm like, I cannot keep doing this. This is just too heavy. And I'm like, and like after that, I was like, all these little rivers. I'm like, that's what I should do. I'll just bring that life straw with me. And
there's old Tonk sucking off the mountain again.
you know, I love the environment. All right. So what do we got next?
That's called sipping off of nature's teat.
Sipping off some nature. Sipping on some sip.
They don't call it the Grand Tetons for no reason, man.
Grande Tetons. Grande Tetons. Yahoo! Yeah, buddy. We getting all into it tonight.
Gotta love the French, though. You know what I mean?
Mike's not in here right now. Lucky you. Who you talking to?
They name the Indians some of the Indians the Sioux because I guess they knew what their future was going to be, you know. And then they named the Grand Tetons because they look like a couple of breasts upside down.
I have a friend of mine that was just out there. That's in Montana. No, it's Wyoming. No, it's Wyoming.
Yep.
My bad.
It's basically it's like the what you would kind of be. It's like the jumping pad for Yellowstone, pretty much.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
so you're in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and that's kind of sits in the valley of the Grand Tetons, and that's the attraction there. But another like 20 miles north is at the start of Yellowstone.
Yeah, it's so beautiful out there, man.
Oh yeah,
I want to go out there this summer.
They call it God's country, and it really truly is. I mean,
yeah, Wyoming and Montana. I want to make a trip out there this summer.
The rest of Wyoming is flat desert, pretty much semi-arid desert. You know what I mean? But that northeast or that northwestern quadrant is gorgeous.
Well, it's like that in eastern Washington too. It's real deserty. Eastern Oregon, real deserty because the mountains they affect it. It's beautiful though, actually, like all those areas and how the mountains shape the entire weather system there. So Cain Velasquez attempted murder. So I saw this earlier and I didn't know much to think about it, but our producer was like, you got to talk about it. So, all right. I mean, just looking at his mugshot right here, the amount of cotton ear the dude has, no wonder he's so pissed off. Dude looks like he's wearing cauliflower as ears. So
yeah, that's actually what they call it, cauliflower.
Yeah, I know. I know. Screw that guy, dude.
From
Let's
rubbing
see.
around on the canvas mat for your whole life.
So a shooting, local hospital. So he actually shot somebody. I wonder what happened though. I'm looking at it right now. In the
So I
intersection.
found
Was
a
it like
well, Tonk, I found
road
a
rage?
well, I found a YouTube video from a guy that was claiming that was entertaining the ideas of what caused it, and apparently he was defending one of his kids from somebody at like a daycare or something that was being inappropriate with them.
Oh,
Not to to try to I mean, it's a touchy subject, but apparently Cain Velasquez didn't take too kindly to somebody having their way with one of his kids.
well, no. I mean, yeah, it doesn't. I'm looking at the article, one of the articles right now.
Yeah, the CBS article doesn't seem to say like what any motives are behind it.
Yeah, CNN article doesn't say it either. And I mean, if that's really the case, well then I mean, why would you mess around with? I mean, for one, he doesn't need a gun. He could just beat the dude up. Like, why didn't he just beat the dude up?
Well, that's the idea, is that something that to that level, you can't really control yourself at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to look more into this. I mean,
but the YouTube channel that I found, the guy speculating on it.
Yeah, exactly, Mike. Oh, there's Mike.
That guy's name is Jesse on Fire. That's the YouTube channel of the guy that does the video on possible motive behind it.
Interesting.
I kind of just before the show started, I briefly watched the video. I didn't see where his sources were coming from,
I mean, like, I'm thankful that we have a league, UFC, that we have these fighting leagues, because these dudes that go and and fight, they're obviously addicted to like physical altercations, and it's just it's sad when like someone can't control themselves regardless of the reason why. They just lose it so much that they go to that much I get a lost words so often, violence, that they go to such lengths of violence. But I mean, I don't know, man, if you mess with someone's kid, that's opening up Pandora's box.
Mike's talking about the proper way to use your UFC skills. You beat him down, stomp on him, stick your neck on his throat, put the pistol in his mouth.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just like, I look at it, for both sides.
He dies. He dies.
He does.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Your commentary with the Huckleberry. Yeah, I mean, just what is the for one, the person who's the kid, whoever's messing with the kid, you got to be really stupid. For one, just to mess with someone's kid at all, but to mess with that guy's kid, I mean, you got to know who he is. You have to know who that guy is. If you didn't know whose kid you're messing with, then you're really stupid. And for Cain, it sucks that he couldn't, went to that much violence. He didn't just want to use his fist. Maybe he was just trying to shoot him in the leg and not kill him. You know what I mean? If he shot him in the leg, I don't know, but I guess we're going to see. I'm going to pay more attention to this now that you told me that it was over his child.
And again, I don't know where this gentleman, I didn't pay attention too deeply to the guy on YouTube. I didn't see where what sources he was citing for that. But the guy's got 53,000 subscribers. I'm pretty sure he doesn't,
Yeah, I mean,
talk out
when you
his
get
rear,
that big into reporting and stuff, you're going to meet friends like, like we know Kadeem, he's in England. You know what I mean? Like,
we appreciate you stopping by, Kadeem.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you get this big in the podcast, and people all over the place, and then people want to give you information because they know.
And you also don't have and you also don't have 53,000 people trusting your word and subscribing to you if you talk out.
We'll see, how it pans out. But I hope that
I mean, it's not excusable, you know what I mean? But it's at least understandable if
No, I mean, I feel a lot different
on.
after you told me that. I feel a lot different about the situation than how I felt. That's why I didn't look at it earlier, because I was
my first thought
exactly.
And to point out to further your point about stereotypes and all that, my first thought was some kind of CTE issue. Taking all them blows to the head for his whole life.
Yeah. No, exactly.
But see, that was unfair of me to think that right out of the gate. If there's other circumstances, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to bring judgment
but that's how quick stereotyping works. You know what I mean? And prejudgment.
Well, I mean, he did put himself into that league and get punched in the head a bunch of times, so it's not like it's not his fault.
And we have seen a lot of people committing suicide and things like that because of
exactly.
CTE issues.
That's exactly what I was thinking, that like he shot him in the leg. It's not a murder charge or attempted murder charge, even though they're saying attempted murder. But California is super, super strict when it comes to guns. Like you can't.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, you can hit an artery in the leg and kill somebody. I mean, everything's attempted murder at that point.
You can't even. It's like super hard to even get a concealed weapon permit in California. It's just so strict there, and so that's why they. It's. I don't know. So I don't know. I got some good energy sending for him and his family. His kid, and whoever, the victim, regardless of the reason why, that stuff is going on. But just stop messing around with people, man. Just stop messing around.
His best defense is temporary insanity, regardless of what the charge is.
All right, lucky you. Are you in Cali? Because when I went and got my concealed weapon in Oregon, they told me about how difficult it was in California.
Wow, the Oregonians are telling you how difficult it is? Jeez.
It wasn't that difficult in Oregon.
That's because despite what goes on in Portland, most of Oregon is like a bunch of hunting types and
it's
gun owners.
You can carry it. You can carry concealed inside bars that serve alcohol in Oregon. Like I remember the guy, like specifically the guy that did the training. He was like, yeah, you could go to the bar and get pissed drunk and have your gun on you. I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. But I mean, I don't mind, going to a bar carrying, but I'm not going to be getting pissed drunk. It's just like, calm down, dude. You're teaching a bunch of people right now. Don't be giving that idea.
Pissed drunk and accidentally do something.
He said get pissed drunk. Like he was all happy about it. I'm like, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're over here trying to tell you all we're not all like that. There's this guy's like, get pissed drunk and play with guns. Trust me, Tonk, we're not all like that, man.
I'm not like that.
I'm a purist, but I'm not that pure. Jeez.
No. It's I had concealed before I even had a handgun because I just cared more about having it concealed than anything else.
Right.
Like I want to be the person that, like, if a bad situation is happening, I can help assist.
Sure.
So
I mean, it really is a tool. I mean, if you ever spend any time out on a hike in the backcountry anywhere,
dude, I've gone on many hikes. I live in
the
PNW. Like I've climbed 2 mountains. I've climbed 4 mountains actually.
Yeah, you probably have to do that to go to the grocery store. Like 3 mountains and
I just got
mountain lions on the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely the Wild West out here in some areas. So next up, baseball lockout. So today I was actually when I was on my lunch break. So the commissioner Bob Manford, he gave them their he gave out their proposal for signature, with the minimum league adjusted, like they're raising the minimum league. The minimum money amount you can make has risen by like 10,000. And it'll keep going up every year. And there's some other things that he proposed in the bill, and they denied it. The Players League denied it. And so now there's 2 series. I don't know what they meant by 2 series being locked out, but he said that there's 2 series. The first 2 series are locked out. So I guess like the first 2 series for every team. Like, like if the Rays came out here to play the Mariners and then the Rays go to California to play the Angels, those 2 first series of games are now canceled. So this is crazy. This is what I saw when the NFL, when was that, like 2013, 14, when they had the lockout and it impacted the season. So, I mean, I don't know, like obviously the players weren't too happy about what he proposed, because I mean, he was just saying exactly the bold points, but we don't know everything that is in that bill. You know what I mean? Like there might be stuff in there that, that extra 10,000 or 20,000 that they're gonna be making with this other crap they got to deal with. They don't like it. So I don't know. We can't exactly see it, but there had to have been something.
Right. This could be a case where you're like, I want pepperoni on the pizza, damn it. And the other guy ordering the pizza is like, will you take anchovies? You're like,
we'll give you pepperoni.
Right.
But with this also that you don't like. Yeah. So 50 million difference. Yes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just saw a little bit. I didn't have a chance to actually read any articles, but I just saw that they denied it. So there has to have been. I mean,
I don't get it. I really don't. This is like, have you ever stood there? I mean, if you've ever been to a game, like you sit there and you're watching during the, the times when there's no action, and it's like, even when there is action, and you just focus on one player. Just pick a player like in the outfield and just focus on
standing around.
Like standing there for 3 hours. You know what I mean?
I went to 5 Mariners games last season.
What the hell are we paying these guys for, man?
I know. It was crazy about like contracts and money is that like when Bryce Harper took all that money and went to Philadelphia, and then the year later, the season after he left, Washington wins the World Series. It's like you took all this money, went to another team, but like you were the problem.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. And like these big, huge contracts, like when Alex Rodriguez got a big, giant contract, like it takes away from other players, and it's not even, I don't know. I mean, it has a lot to do with money. I believe that. It's crazy just how many hundreds of millions of dollars that is on the line and discussed in these meetings. And a league minimum of $700K, that's a lot of money. I mean, if you're making a minimum, then you're probably playing left bench. You know what I mean? You're probably not even really doing anything to be on the minimum salary, $700,000, and you're complaining. So there's got to be something else in that bill that they don't like, maybe because I know that they're also trying to focus on like speeding the game up, making the game more accurate, like when we talked about before with bringing in robots.
Right.
So there's probably stuff like that being added in that they might not like. I don't know. Maybe they don't like the robots. Maybe they don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It seems like there's something we're not hearing about. Like they go and that we got this 10,000 on the table and they reject it. Well, how do we know? That's like they might be offering them something way off the. Like, no, our problem here is we didn't want the pepperoni on the pizza. And you're bringing take the anchovies off to the table. You know what I mean? Like, we're fine with the anchovies. We want you to take the pepperoni off, and we as fans in public we don't know that it's actually that they want the pepperoni taken off, and the league keeps going, well, we'll take the anchovies off,
Yeah.
We don't know what that issue is. We don't know what the pepperoni is in this case, but whatever it is, it's something that they're including in there that they're trying to, strong arm in the deal,
Yeah, because I mean, now that there's going to be a lockout,
why wouldn't you just want to play baseball and make millions of dollars? You know what I mean?
Yeah, now that there is going to be a lockout, the players will not get paid
It truly
won't
is a
be
sport
paid for.
full of a bunch of people that literally don't want to play. Like, we have these guys in the NFL where we're like, oh, that guy don't want to play. He just wants a payday. That's like everybody in baseball, right down to the lowest guy on the bench. Obviously, if they're scrapping over 10,000, you know what I mean, on the minimum level.
Yeah, it's like I wonder how like things like that went, like, in the early 1900s when Babe Ruth was playing. It's like I wonder like what contracts were like back then, and like did they even
Back
have?
then, even with football, back then you were lucky you were playing a sport to make money.
So
even if they were giving you $10, you're like, I'm playing a sport to make money.
Players Union.
This is the whole idea behind, why do these NFL players that get washed out get so depressed? It's like, go to the CFL or go to Germany and play in some Bundesliga, because you're going to be making like 75 grand a year to play a sport.
$750,000 a year.
Well, what I mean is, like, in these really small time leagues, you're still going to make the average salary of every human on the earth by playing a sport. That's good enough for me. I'd be like, well, shit, I'm playing football for my 75K. You know what I mean? Rather than customer service or, flipping burgers or whatever it might be.
His name was, there was 9 players in 1885 that formed the first players union in baseball, the Brotherhood of Professional Baseball Players. 1885, dude.
Wow.
It was John Montgomery, Ward, and 8 other players. I had no idea it was that old of a union.
By the way, everybody,
crazy.
If you have not, for some reason, not subscribed to this channel, take the time and do it real quick. We're so close to 700.
Yeah, we only need 17 more. Well, from when I looked earlier, we only need 17 more. And I know we're supposed to be all right. So since we're at a stopping point right now, you guys need to choose who's been winning, who's been losing with debates and points and knowledge so far, because it's supposed to be like a game show. We're trying to turn it into that, but I don't know. Me and
well, you had 2 causes for cleats, so you're already up on me there.
But me and you, we kind of agree on on some things, so it's hard to like compete.
Well,
like,
when
it's not hard, but it's
if we walk that political line and just jump right over it, we could certainly find plenty to disagree on, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Well, there's a topic that we're gonna be talking about here in a minute that I don't know, we'll see how we feel about it. Just everybody watching, think of who you're in favor of winning this episode while we're going. So what's next, El Capitan? Transgenders and female sports. So I've been holding off about this topic because it's mega sensitive, it's progressive, it's very new to the industry of sports for the most part. And I saw that South Dakota just passed a law to ban transgender women in women's sports.
South Dakota, huh?
Yeah. And it was a female governor. And I've tried to stay. I tried to not say too much because it's so sensitive. But when I look at fairness,
I'm your Huckleberry.
I think that there hasn't been enough of this in sports to actually figure out a way to make it work. That swimmer, that transgender woman swimmer who's like beating every person she competes against. And it's like, well, when she was in the male, she was losing, or like that UFC fighter, the transgender UFC fighter who's like destroying women. Now, I remember a friend of mine said, well, it should just be up to the people that are actually competing. And I was like, I can agree with that. I can agree with the people that are actually competing in the sport. They should be able to determine if a transgender is allowed to be in the league.
No different than they should be able to choose any person. If there's a person disrupting, let's say, a person that keeps causing problems or doesn't get along with everybody or whatever,
Yeah,
they get shunned too. You know what I mean?
Because like for someone to go through the process of transing into something new, that's a lot. There's money, there's effort, there's energy put into it. So it's like these people, like these are our citizens, and this is how they feel, this is what they want, and I just want fairness. And
I
think that
agree, and Chris makes a good point here. The only issue with that, Chris, is that's been suggested. This is, on a similar issue that I don't want to get too deep on when it comes to the restroom issue, and this solution has been put on the table. And the problem is that the people that solution is offered to come back with the thought that by doing that, you're creating a place of discrimination. So they're saying that, no, if you create a third bathroom, that's isolating or that's discriminating. That's, you know what I mean? When from our perspective, it's like, no, we're being fair. There's male, female, and now this type of bathroom. But from their eyes, it's no, we think we're female. So by creating a third bathroom or a third league in this case, you'd be creating a point of discrimination. And now I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's just their argument to that solution.
I mean, that's like the least, I don't know. That's not as,
to me, it's like baby steps, people. Come on. You got to take what you can get. You know what I mean?
When I was in Vancouver, Canada, British Columbia, the all the way on the west side of Canada, they had unisex bathrooms. And it was like you walk in and they have like a little area in the middle where you wash your hands. Excuse me. And it was all stalls that had doors. It worked fine.
Yeah, that's the fourth solution, is to eliminate all three and just have one.
I mean,
I don't when you
know.
come to my home, I don't have two different bathrooms for genders. You know what I mean? If the door is closed and it's locked, there's somebody using it right now. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who that person is.
If someone were to take take advantage of a bathroom situation and quote unquote doing anything, well, then they should just be get punished for that. But we shouldn't be like punishing other people for the actions of a few. Like when it comes to bathrooms or sports. But I think that just this hasn't been around long enough for us to finally come together and like figure out a way to make it work. It is
hard. I mean, as far as the league goes, the bathroom issue is a lot more easily solvable. But as far as the league issue, the only solution is a third league. But that just introduces, from their perspective, a point of discrimination.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, like how many people are going to go to
now we can't compete in the male or the female side. Oh, now we're definitely being singled out and marginalized.
I don't know, what I mean? But like at the same time, like I love seeing a woman, like there was a female player in college that was a kicker for Vanderbilt. Like I love that. Like I'm totally fine with that. So it's like just an interesting situation. Where we have these players, these people getting introduced into a league that they weren't always in. And
another solution would be a third league, but a third league that allows everybody. So in other words, you're creating a third league that for those males or females that are fine with competing with somebody that's transgender, then they can join that league too. You see what I'm saying? So now you do have an all-inclusive league, even though it's separated from the two that are non-inclusive.
If you're going to have a league just transgenders, what about a league that allows steroids?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can effectively have that. I mean, you could start a league and be like, well, we don't have any rules against steroids here.
I mean, I think if a league was going to be started for transgenders or such of that nature, then it should be steroids too. Just put it all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're not discriminating in that case. So that if, let's say, if a natural female goes and wants to join that league and knows that there's transgender people, then they're making the concerted choice to go there and compete against somebody that may or may not be more physically gifted than them genetically. You know,
like, you know, it's like. It's hard.
Give everybody the choice is what I'm saying. So the third league needs to be all inclusive, so that everybody has a choice that goes into it.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're a female that gets beat out by a biological male that's you know, transgender, then you chose to be in that league. You can't complain at that point. But a league where there's already this standard, and I join this league with this X level of expectation, then I think it's wrong to introduce something that, you know, that goes above and beyond that. Like, it's an extreme, you know what I mean? So create a league where everybody can choose to be in it or not, and let that league be the extreme league.
I mean, that's definitely a scenario that could
you know,
work.
Don't discriminate. Don't make it transgender only or exclusive, but say, hey, the people that do compete in this league are going into it knowing the potential competition they're competing against.
Let's say example, and I'm just using this as example because it's a third party league, like the Special Olympics, stuff like that. You know, like they created a league for people who are under these circumstances in their life to compete against each other.
Oh, you're pointing out, did you just point out the Special Olympics type? Yeah. Perfect example.
Yeah. And I mean, that's working out great. You know, I mean, I don't know how much of.
Ironically, some of the sports have evolved to the point where you almost have to be differently abled, we'll say, in order to compete. Like, if they've developed, this particular sport has evolved to a point where the guy that's using his hands to run has an advantage, you know what I mean? Then you might enter that league as a perfectly well-formed human being and be at a disadvantage. You see what I'm saying?
Like
because each of those sports get to a point of evolution where the best in that sport has certain qualities. So the sport ends up exemplifying those qualities, so that maybe this race over here is now easier. The guy that runs with his hands has more of an advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sports is
over time.
Sports is kind of like cars. It's where everybody comes together to do something.
You might even have a different sport after 100 years, running on your hands instead of your feet. You know what I mean?
Like in the movie Aeon Flux.
Right.
But like, I don't know.
But then your legs become a hindrance. You go join this league and you're like, man, I could barely run on my hands because of these goofy ass legs that I got. You know what I mean?
But like, in order to protect, you know, I like members of, you know, the leagues and the teams and stuff like that. It's, you know, I'm not against these laws that are forming. I'm not against them. I just feel like there hasn't been enough of this to really figure out how to make it work, you know, fairly, honestly, and
although we have been as humans, we've been competing in sporting events since ancient Greece.
Exactly.
So it seems to me that we have solved this issue. I mean, if this is the best we've come up with in 2,000 years, it's probably the best we're going to come up with. I mean, to that point, you know,
I don't know.
I know it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's the same point you made about the Special Olympics. This is what we've developed over 2,000 years to solve that issue. And everybody's been fine with it. Nobody feels shortchanged, you know. Quite the contrary, there's some Special Olympic athletes that are well better off in life than I am with certain endorsements. You know what I mean? So, you know.
Yeah. I think it's gonna pretty much have because the way that, you know, this evolution of people is happening.
I mean, what they do with the transgender gladiator in Rome, you know what I mean?
something's gonna happen. I think that
They
it's
just let him
right
go
now,
out there and sink or swim. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's just right now there hasn't been a real definitive way to make this fair. So I guess there's just going to be more and more laws like this until they do. But maybe, I don't know. I believe that we will be able to find a way to make it work, and that'll be very interesting to see. Because
well, that goes without saying, but it in the end, it all matters. It all depends on who it works for and who it doesn't work for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who gets left out in the cold? You know.
Whew, got some
Always somebody. There's always somebody got to get left out in the cold with every solution.
Tough topics here tonight. So what we got next? NFL free agents. Yeah. So
Ooh, man, we got through it, bro. We got through that issue, man.
So I pulled up an article. What is it? I just Google searched. I think I just Google searched.
No, we already got less than at least, above 0% support in the polls now for president. So, we must have done something right. That might be enough to get funding from the state for a campaign, if you get like a certain percentage, in the polls.
For what? What are you saying?
For running for office, like you got to, you get a certain percentage in the polls, you can get government help,
So 2022 NFL free agents. There is a lot. Von Miller, Dante Fowler Jr.
Von Miller's a free agent?
He's gonna, yeah.
They ain't gonna be able to afford to pay him.
Devontae Adams, Tyrann Mathieu, Akeem Hicks. Let's see, Joe Hayden. That's my boy right there from the Gators, man. He's such a badass cornerback, dude. He's so badass. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Andy Dalton, Ndamukong Suh, Dante Hightower.
What's the status of Fitz's injury? Does anybody know?
Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was injured. What is his injury?
He broke his ankle or something.
Oh, for
I'm
real?
just stirring the pot. I'm stirring the QB pot. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, you're good, dude. I didn't realize that at first. Right now he's on the Washington Commanders team.
Right.
He's going commando. He broke his hip or something. So you said his ankle, and then the producer says his hip. What's going on here? I heard he broke his wrist.
It was his liver. He's like, my liver.
He was like, oh, my tibia. Patrick Peterson, T.Y. Hilton, Jimmy Graham, Jadeveon Clowney, Rob Gronkowski. Dude, Juju Smith-Schuster. Dude, this is a huge amount of free agents. They have a lot of work to do. Cam Newton.
I really, really like Juju Smith-Schuster. I want to get Chat's
doesn't he
I want to get the Chat's opinion on that. But man, that dude, like, did we all forget what he did to Vontaze Burfict and what we're trying to do with our run game and all that, needing blocking wide receivers? I don't know why Juju ain't already on our team.
Yeah, he's about to be a free agent. I don't know if free agent goes into actual play, what day it does. I thought it happens in March. I think it happens in March because
it starts like March 12th, I believe, or something like that.
Football is still happening in February, so they don't have it in February. So March is always the start of free agency because it's off. The previous season is completely done with. Juju Schuster he's badass, dude. Let's see who else is on that list. I'm just going down. It's like a lot of players. AJ Green, he played for
Arizona.
But Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he played. Yeah, he was a Georgia Bulldog. Tyrod Taylor. Let's see. Kareem Jackson. Let's see.
What's up, MC?
What's up, MC? Hey, I didn't get it. I didn't get a chance to fully check out that whole song yet. I'll get back to you on it. Let's see. Leonard Fournette. we got a lot of free agents. This is going to be a very interesting offseason, especially with the draft coming up. Rashad Evans,
Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, Aaron Rodgers and I think Seattle quarterback
Russell Wilson.
yeah, because
I think Jameis Winston is a free
Blaine
agent.
Gabbert. Damn, man, this is a giant list. Deshaun Jackson, but he's getting older now.
Yeah, he's good. Deshaun's good for a 70-yard touchdown once a year.
If he doesn't,
you're basically buying 1 70-yard touchdown a year from Deshaun Jackson. Hopefully, you get it at the right time that you need it. You know,
one kind of Eli Manning, just chuck it out there, just deep ball. AJ McCarron. I didn't even know he was still in the league. I didn't know he was really in the league. He was the one who won all those titles with Alabama. I think he won dude, AJ McCarron, when he played for Alabama, he had more championship wins than total losses. I mean, that's crazy to think about, dude. Imagine being on a team where you have more championship wins than you do losses. It's like, what?
And still didn't translate to the NFL. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I know, right? What team is he on? I thought I clicked on it. I wanted to see it.
I want to say Cleveland. I thought he was backing up Baker Mayfield.
Oh, he's on the Falcons.
Oh, Falcons, huh?
Yeah. Huh. I had no idea. Good old Alabama. I know, man. But just that's just a crazy statistic. That's just insane. Like Gerald McCoy, Odell Beckham Jr. Dude, I mean, this is a serious list. Like, this is going to be a crazy offseason.
God, I really hate free agent running backs and wide receivers. I really do.
Why? Because they eat up so much
because
salary?
They're just so hit or miss, man. Like, you just really don't know what their motives are, ever. Are they done? Are they looking to get paid? You know what I mean? Like, do they really care about winning anymore? I mean, all that stuff. Like, every one of them are the same. That's why when I hear people talk about Allen Robinson, because they're off of Devontae Parker, it's like, look up Allen Robinson's stats. He's got a couple more complete 16-game seasons than Devontae Parker. But if you look at their career, it's like the same nonsense. Allen Robinson's just been doing it about 3 more seasons than Devontae Parker. And we want to get this guy over Devontae? Like, I don't get that.
Yeah. Free agency is such a...
Everybody talks about Allen Robinson in free agency every single year. Yet he stays in Chicago and does absolutely nothing with himself throughout the season. Like, I don't get why people are always on to this guy. Like, what has he done ever?
Because it's like
he's been in this league for 8 seasons or something.
I don't know. I just feel like running backs and wide receivers in NFL, they're very... They always get a lot of attention.
Because they all have the potential to be big playmakers.
Yeah.
But as I've noticed playing fantasy over the last couple years, most of them have 1 or 2, and then that's it. Like, the whole year we're trying to get lucky on this same guy again. Brandon Ayuk's one of them. Brashard Perryman's another. Gabe Davis, another one. And then he shows out in the playoffs and everybody thinks it's him and not Josh Allen. It's like, no, I'm sorry, guys. Gabe Davis has had a couple breakout performances, but they're never more than 2 touchdowns and never more than 150, 175 yards. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Brian Pringle. Yeah, we all love watching him on Kansas City getting the ball when you're like, how is Pringle open every play? But that doesn't mean he's going to translate to doing that in Miami. There's reasons that happens over there. We always end up getting somebody else's wide receiver too.
Is Brian Heartline still in the league?
No, actually, he's like living large out in the swamp somewhere.
I know he was on the Dolphins. He was the one when he played for the Dolphins, but he was on Ohio State when they lost to the Gators. But I remember seeing him on the Dolphins. I think it was like 5 or 6 seasons ago. Forgot who he was playing with, but I was like, oh shit. When they said that, I was like, oh yeah. I think he's coaching now. But it's just, I love seeing that like in NFL when I see college players and I watch them and then I see them in the NFL. I really like that. It's just really cool to be able to follow, athletes.
But then you look at a guy like Brandon Cooks, on the other hand, who plays on a terrible Texans team, but yet every single week you can guarantee him for like 15 fantasy points. He doesn't have anything to play for. He's at a team that sucks, yet he produces every single week, every single year. That's a guy that, even though it's getting to the later part of his career, that's the kind of guy that missed his chance to get a ring in with the Rams, got shafted out of there, missed his chance to do anything with Houston because of the Deshaun Watson debacle. But yet he still shows up every game. Same with Jamison Crowder with the Jets. Nobody's arguing that the Jets is a winner anytime soon, yet Jamison Crowder shells out every single game. Like they've got something to play for. These are the guys I'd be looking at in free agency for a wide receiver, man. None of these big names, I could even put Christian Kirk in the other category too, but I kind of like him. He's a big receiver or strong receiver, and I don't know if he's just being underutilized because of Kyler Murray's deficiencies, so he might still be all right. But these other guys, it's like, no. I mean, Landry maybe, because he always wants the ball out, but still, same thing.
Yo, what's up, Anthony? Christian Kirk. Yeah. I love the comments. I love the conversation you guys are having. I've been watching you guys talk, during all these topics, and I like that you guys are commenting and being involved. This is pretty good stuff we got going on here tonight. Yeah, so that was all the time.
Pardon the interruption. We are anonymous. It has been brought to our attention that your channel has brought together some of the truest Dolphins fans. Yet now, more than ever, the fan base is divided. Half blame the quarterback for the season's outcome, the other half blame the offensive line. Based on the insecurities that have been exposed, we have hijacked this channel. Until what was once a tight-knit fan base can come together once again, we will be watching, with full control of this channel. As for now, Tonk7, we have done a deep dive into your past, finding some talents that have not been shared on this platform. We will release our grasp on this channel only if you are able to showcase your freestyle abilities for the world to see. You have 2 minutes, beginning now. Again, we are anonymous. We are Legion. We are watching.
Well, if y'all are watching,
The fuck was that?
you can listen too. Here, I got something for him. Yo, I'm El Capitan and the producer El Capitan. About this podcast, we so passion. And with the family watching, we got more atoms than a molecule. And now we got Culler Commentary. The world taking a hit. The war in Ukraine. People trying to escape, running faster than Usain. Fuck fighting. Let's have a World War threesome. Right here in the country of freedom. Punishing Russia with all these sanctions. and billionaires losing their bank funds. These are times in life when me and Chris would make fun. Why? Because comedy is neutral and what we say is truthful.